I'm sure many of you watching this have heard of C.S. Lewis, although most of you probably can't remember where you know his name from. He is perhaps most famous for his children's books, The Chronicles of Narnia. However, this video is more focused on Lewis's academic and apologetic writings. I want to be careful to note here that even though Lewis talked about Shensucht in his apologetic writings, he also talked about it elsewhere. Moreover, he is far from the only person to talk about it, and that's why I wanted to devote time to discussing it in class. For other examples, see the works of Dante, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Walt Whitman, William Wordsworth, and Goethe. So what is Sehnsucht? It is a German word that is usually translated as longing or nostalgia. But it's not simply missing the comforts of home or the way that things used to be. We see it more accurately rendered as a sense of displacement or alienation from the object of one's desires. Lewis's most famous rendering of Sehnsucht can be found in his so-called argument from desire. If I find in myself a desire which no experience in this world can satisfy, the most probable explanation is that I was made for another world. Now, Lewis juxtaposes this desire for another world with other desires that are more easily filled. We are hungry, and food satiates our hunger. We are thirsty, and drink satiates our thirst. But, as Lewis noted, this longing, Sehnsucht, has no fulfillment in this world. Now, why talk about a longing that doesn't correspond with this world? That's a really excellent question, and the answer will probably surprise you. Because it makes everything else make sense. Lewis tackled the problem of Sehnsucht in a number of ways. In The Problem of Pain, he wrote, "Beyond all possibility of doubt, you would say, 'Here at last is the thing that I was made for.' We cannot tell each other about it. It is the secret signature of each soul, the incommunicable and unappeasable want, which we shall still desire on our deathbeds." In The Problem of Pain, Lewis goes on to ponder, are not all lifelong friendships born at the moment when at last you meet another human being who has some inkling, but faint and uncertain even in the best, of that something which you were born desiring, and which, beneath the flux of other desires, you are looking for, watching for, listening for? So, Sehnsucht is an unfulfillable desire that, although painful, points beyond contentment in this world. We can see it in our sense of connection to everyone who has come before us and everyone who will come after. Our sense that people who came before us would have understood us, and perhaps more importantly, our desire to leave behind traces that will allow those who follow to understand us as well. There is, in fact, one institution that serves as a temple to Sehnsucht, the university. Indeed, the university is a theoretical place built upon the reality of Sehnsucht. The university is not merely buildings housing faculty who teach students life skills and key concepts. The university is an organism, and its many faculty and students are complex and highly interconnected organs. These connections are, of course, not simply physical, the way an umbilical cord connects a child to its mother. They are connections of longing. Professors want to work at universities because they allow faculty to pursue their longings for knowledge, for mentoring students, and their desire to share their findings. It is important to remember that students coming to university bring a whole host of longings of their own. They long for knowledge, acceptance, purpose, friendship, approval, hope, and yes, even love. College is not simply hard because the work is hard and tuition is expensive. It's hard because you learn about the longings of other people and about your own longings. This has been a long-winded way of saying the question of Sehnsucht is the question of the deepest longings of a person. What, in other words, will make people happy? But we don't really mean happy in the sense of excited. We mean happy in the sense of content. Does money make people happy? Does fame? Does pleasure? These are difficult questions to answer, and partly they're hard to answer because it's hard to figure out what would be enough to fulfill our deepest longings. take two recent pop culture examples that identify a powerful longing outside the realm of immediate experience. The Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga duet, Shallow from A Star Is Born, and the opera masterpiece, Never Enough from The Greatest Showman. Both sets of lyrics are devoted to exploring this powerful, poignant longing. Neither song resolves this longing. Neither song purports to know the object of this longing. But Never Enough is tied for the second most popular song on The Greatest Showman soundtrack, while Shallow topped the digital song sales chart for 10 weeks, 2.5 times longer than Lady Gaga's next closest single. I think the success of songs such as these is more than just a fluke. It is a reflection that they resonate with people on a deeper level. It is my hope that this lecture resonated with you on a deeper level.